Hey guys, Crystal here from Elite Hair Care USA. So today you are in for a treat. We are doing a cut and alopecia transformation service on my client. So my client came in fully natural. She has not actually worn her hair out in 5 years, you guys. So she entrusted me, which I was so honored that she entrusted me to take her through this transformation so that she would be able to wear her hair out and feel confident. She's already beautiful as it is, so we're just going to emphasize even more beauty on top of her beauty. Now, if you guys noticed just before this clip, we were doing the relaxer process. Now, one thing that I want to point out when you're dealing with salt and pepper hair or salt hair or pepper hair is the color. Now, when you add any type of chemical, sun exposure, product exposure, heat, whatever the case may be, that can change or somewhat alter the color of your silver, salt and pepper, or gray. And we did use a violet-based shampoo to help reduce some of the yellow that came along with us doing that relaxer. Now, towards the end of the video, I will go through a little bit more detail in regards to the color and, dealing with clients who have salt and pepper hair, and actually trying to find extensions that would match her hair color seemed to be a big challenge, because if you notice at the beginning of her video, her hair is truly salt. It is like white cotton. And in the moment any type of chemical touched her hair, it literally went from salt to yellow. So like I said, a violet-based shampoo is definitely required for a client of her nature, especially if you're going to be wearing your hair outside of having any type of extension service. So I'm going through now and I am cleaning up her nape, sides, and basically the back of her head to prepare her for this style. When we initially started, we were going to do a spiky shortcut. Let's say it that way. Spiky shortcut. And you guys will get to see as we go along how sometimes things change for the better. It really is just dependent on how the hair reacts and how the hair lays. So you guys will get to see the finished style as we go through. Now, she is fine textured. So I did want to make sure that I left enough hair for some sort of coverage in as many places as possible, of course. And she is dealing with alopecia in her crown area. And the alopecia is more from medically induced versus it being trauma or anything of that nature. So in her crown area, that is just how it grew in, and that's just what we have to work with. So the relaxer itself is not doing her any harm at this point. We relaxed it because we had the intention of leaving her hair out, and I wanted her hair to be able to blend going forward for any sort of style that we'd be doing for her. Now, we are going to go ahead and mold her as if it was a standard shortcut. And when I say a standard shortcut, her mold is still going to be as though we were going to do a pixie cut of any nature, okay? When you're dealing with clients of this nature and you're leaving their hair out, you do still have to mold the hair as if you were doing a regular shortcut, unless you were going to cover the crown area with a full extension. And I did not feel like I needed to cover her entire crown. I feel like that would be redundant to what we're doing. And I wanted her to feel beautiful with her hair. So we're just going to add a couple extensions in between her hair, so that will allow her to wear her hair out. Now, of course, for our mold or wrap foam, we are using our Elite Silk Wrap Foam. And before we get any further, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also to thumbs up this video and turn on that notification bell so you guys know when I'm on live and when I upload my videos. Clearly, that wrap foam is just bomb. I don't even have to go through my original my shameless plug that I always put in there. But Elite Silk Wrap Foam is just that. It is silk. Do you see the layage? Okay, did I just make that up? I did. The layage that it is giving her, it is literally laying this hair down to the gods. Okay? But you want to make sure, of course, your foundation is always solid whenever it comes on to dealing with your molds, especially for my clients who have any type of short style. Now, she can wear her hair like this as just a short pixie, and we'll be able to we'll get amazing coverage. So that's the benefit to going to a stylist that knows what they're doing for the most part. And that's the benefit of going to someone that specializes in clients who have hair trouble of any nature. So her hair is now dry, and I know you guys can now see what I mean when I say the hair did somewhat change its color, okay? There are no extensions that are salt, pepper, and slightly sunny. There's no such thing. So she brought two different types of hair. Initially, when we first started, the whiter one was better. And then as we went along and her color slightly changed based on the chemical service that we did, even with toning, we had no choice but to use the darker colored Silver Fox that she brought. So it worked out just fine. But going forward, I just know there was some things that we needed to do. So number one, I definitely, for the next service, will be using a white-based glue. They do have white-based glue. It's actually kind of hard to find because they don't really make it as much. It's not as popular. But because I'm using white hair, I need to use a white-based glue. In this case, I did not have any, and no one in the building had any because, like I said, that glue is actually kind of rare now. They don't really make it as much as they used to. But because platinum is coming back, I do feel like I can probably find it somewhere like Amazon or something. So I did have to make sure that I was very light when I put the adhesive on the tracks. And yes, we are using adhesive in between her hair with the tracks. So anybody that wants to ask, guys, we know what we're doing. I've been doing this for quite some time. And guess what? My client trusts me 100%. So you do the same. Thanks so much. Disclaimer clear. Let's go. When I started out, if you guys can tell, the top or the crown of her head is very sparse or fine in texture. There is really nothing that we can do about that in her crown. And the reason being is because of certain things that have gone on in life. So that area is where it is and how it is, right? But the point of being is I wanted her to be happy with her style and get as close to what she wanted as possible. My client has not worn her hair in 5 years, you guys. When she showed me her pictures of how she would normally wear her hair, I was truly excited to say, okay, I just literally was able to make her smile and change her life of some sort. And I was honored that she allowed me to even be the person that took her out of not wearing her hair for so long. So I'm truly humbled that you guys have supported me thus far. I'm truly humbled that you guys trust me with my expertise and knowing that I have your best interest at heart. That warms my heart. Okay, so as we went along, you guys will notice that the tracks really were really popping out, right? You can really tell that they're there. This is another thing that I was noticing as I was doing her hair. And I said, okay, you know, I need to figure out a way to give her some coverage. I know that if I don't do enough tracks, she won't have enough hair to cover. And if I do too many tracks, it'll look too full for her hair type. Remind yourself, she's fine textured. So what I did was instead of using the tracks that I split in half, I used the tracks in their whole form. And that allowed me to have more coverage to hide the darker color glue that I used, which I know, like I said, going forward, I am definitely going to be investigating and getting this white colored glue because I would never use that glue again on my client with white hair, which that was a no-no anyway. But we had to do what we had to do. I didn't think that we would need white glue, if that made sense, but we did. Anyway. And white glue meaning the color, you guys, not the race. Oh, yeah. So sad I got to say that. So what I did to help blend it is I have some hair fibers in the color light silver. And usually, you guys, honestly, I was actually supposed to throw this color away. This hair fiber color away. This was a tester when we were offering the elite fibers, and I was supposed to throw it away, and I just so happened to not throw it away, and I found it in my cabinet, and look who I actually needed it for. It actually ended up working out because I needed this color, and that hair fiber saved my life. So shout out to Elite Masket Trials. It was a trial color, and I said that no one would need it, but I ended up being a hoarder, and I kept it. And then I ended up needing it, and look who I used it on. So it really worked out for me, you guys. So we decided to do a more down style versus an up style, because if we did an up style, it was going to expose too much. So we decided to do it down. So I'm just using my razor just to kind of clean it up. And I want you guys to really get into this look, okay? Get into the fact that she is solid white. Get into the fact that where we started and see that we are literally just moving along. And she is just watching me as we were going. So I was just like, you know, I'm like, how do you feel? I just kept trying to hint like, okay, you know, this is... And I'm just like, okay, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. Yes, I was really, really happy, especially at this point, because my biggest concern was that I would not have enough coverage, which I did. And then those fibers really helped out even more. And you guys will see towards the end how we were able to get that to blend. Now, one thing that I did notice with the fibers is that if I did not allow the adhesive to dry enough, the fibers would get under the track, and then the track itself would just fall right out, because it's like I put powder on adhesive, right? So one of her tracks actually slipped right out in my hand, and I ended up having to go back and put that track in again, which it was fine, but there it goes. So that told me that, okay, Crystal, number one, you need to make sure that these tracks are thoroughly dry. And number two, because I am using a very light colored fiber, I would have to use a lot more fiber. So I did want to make sure that when I applied that track, if you guys can tell, if I didn't apply the fibers, you would be able to see that black line. And I did not want anyone to be able to see that black line. So you'll see how I was able to cover it towards the end. And I did point her in the direction of how to get these fibers, because it is something that would be needed for what we were doing. Now, if I had used a hair color that was a lot closer to her hair, would it made a difference? No, because number one, her texture is fine and her hair was needed to make really good coverage. If not, I would have had to have done a full closed in quick weave on the top. And she perspires a lot, so that would not have done her any justice. It wouldn't have lasted. So we needed her hair to be out to eliminate her really perspiring a lot in her crown area. So there were so many different things that were factors when it came on to us doing this style, because we have to make sure that the client can manage. Yep. And I got to make sure that my client is happy for the next 2 weeks until I see her again. All right, you guys. So at this point of the process is where I went through and I just started to give her a little bit of heat to her hair, just a very small amount. I didn't have to do a lot of curl. Her mold was actually perfect. And with that being said, if the mold is right, the hair lays properly, then you don't have to do a lot of curling. And in her case, I didn't want to do a lot of curling. So what I did was I went through and I sprinkled a little bit more fiber. Number one, that was the most important, to make sure that there was coverage. And then I just kind of use a little bit of heat just to graze over those areas that had a little bit of texture to them. If you have silky hair on the top, it needs to look silky on the sides, you guys. Okay, I can't state that enough. If it looks silky on the top, it needs to look silky on the sides. So you don't want to leave the hair looking rough and rugged. You want to leave it looking nice and silky and smooth, okay? But I want you guys to really get into this color and how well it just blended in. It blended right in. I was literally so happy that I was even skeptical. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, Crystal, don't sweat. Don't sweat. You know that this is going to work out. You know what you're doing. But I still second guess myself, because once the pressure came on that she hasn't worn her hair in so long, I felt like it was just, I was destined to make sure that she was absolutely blown away by this style. It was a real challenge for me, and I love the challenge, by the way. But I want you guys to comment down below. I know I just kind of like talked your ear off. This was one of those videos that I was really happy to do and show you guys. So please comment down below. Give my client some encouragement of how absolutely beautiful she is. Oh my gosh. She just had it all. Okay. She had it all. I was so happy for her. She was so happy. We were so happy. Even my client was like, this is absolutely beautiful. So you guys comment in the comment section. Give her some encouragement. Let her know how beautiful this style came out, because I promise you she's watching. And then I will see you guys in the next video. Please don't forget, like I said, subscribe, thumbs up this video. And what you guys guys saw me doing, by the way, is I'm adding a little bit more fiber on the exterior portion, and then you'll see me use a little bit of hairspray to lock it in, and that is how I was able to blend it even more. Okay, so that's an option as well, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.